You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
I want to read you a quote from Logan Ryan, who plays for the Giants. So after the game, it turns out that Mike Glennon has a concussion. He didn't come out of the game, but you know, the Giants are basically down to no quarterbacks. And Logan Ryan said he's available in an emergency quarterback he played in high school. So he said, "I'm a lot like Tua. I can throw 2-yard passes to the left." Why do these players, after getting diced up by Tua, want to start talking trash about him? Like, your team put up 9 points, all field goals. The Dolphins scored 2 touchdowns. Tua threw for 2 touchdowns. It wasn't just 2-yard passes to his left. What has Tua done to opposing DBs and like linebackers? Why do they hate the guy so much?
I'm glad we started here, bro. And it's been a while since I've been on this show with the victory visor on. Like, I know I probably don't sound clear right now, but the victory visor has to make an appearance. You feel me? So listen, it's funny how we starting here. I'm glad we starting here. Because everyone is going to tell you, oh, it's the defense. It's not Tua. Everyone and their mom's going to tell you, oh, Tua's successful because of the defense. And it's funny how this works. It really is funny how this works. Because we already know how the defense laid down against Atlanta. Tua gave you a lead with, less than 2 minutes left in the game, was it?
I think it was 1 minute 43. One of the games between them and Jacksonville was 1 minute 43, something like that.
Either way, gave you the lead, and our defense blew it. Whatever, cool. How about this? Xavier Howard doesn't throw the touchdown passes. Myles Gaskin, friend of the podcast, Myles Gaskin, doesn't put the ball on the money to these receivers on these passes, right? On these routes. Jalen Phillips, my dog, does not have incredible accuracy and go 80% in the past 3 weeks of passing percentage. At some point, people are going to have to start giving Tua credit because they're not throwing the ball for Tua. Whether you want to say, okay, we held them long enough and to enough, we held them to 3 field goals. Okay, I'll take that. You get paid too. You on the defense. You doing your job. But give credit when it's due. Dog, Tua's nice, bro. I think I text you during the guy like, bro, Tua's so good.
Yeah, and
on that pass to Gesicki, it was nowhere else you could put it.
Yeah, you said it, and I said podcast because I knew at some point we'd have to talk about it. There was a pass a couple of weeks ago where he tried the same thing to Jalen Waddle and he overthrew it, interception. And everyone's like, yeah, I'm out, I'm done with Tua. And then he's come back, I think he's currently on a 80% pass completion of the last 3 games. I think the record in Miami is something like 6, Dan Marino, or he's basically halfway through some Dan Marino record. Listen, I think there's a lot of buzz and talk on social media about a lot of Tua's passes being quite high. There was a one to Jalen Waddle, which Jalen Waddle brought down perfectly. But he got injured on the play. Nothing to do with Tua. And yeah, there's a few passes which, Tua said himself, the Dolphins left players out on that field. They all do it. Like, the drops came back. I was like, really? We're doing this week. We're going to let the Giants hang around for long enough because you can't catch the ball. But I don't remember there being a single pass where afterwards I was like, yeah, Tua messed up. In terms of like, it could have been an interception. There were moments where he might have turned the ball over, but it wouldn't have been on him. So for example, there's one to Mike Gesicki in the end zone just before the Matt Collins touchdown, and it goes straight through Gesicki's hands, hits him square in the helmet, and it bounces off and goes somewhere else. And I was like,
almost gets picked.
Yeah, but you know how the Dolphins 2 haters would be like, see, interception. It's like, dude, that's like square in the effect. You can't put the ball anywhere better.
So you didn't even say it right, bro. It hit him in the face mask.
Yeah,
the ball hit Gesicki in the face mask, bro. In the end zone, in the face mask. Where else we want to put this ball?
There was one. It might be on a third down to Albert Wilson, where again Wilson catches it, defender knocks it out, and that's nearly an interception. And again, like if there was going to be an interception in today's game, it would have been on something like that. It wouldn't have been because Tua made a bad pass. It would have been because a drop, a lucky ricochet elsewhere, and someone would have picked it up. By the way, if I sound a bit nasally, like my nose is blocked, it's because my nose is blocked. The universe is trying to make sure that one of us, like, it's like we've come back together, and the universe like, nope, can't be doing this. Too many vibes, too many good times. I'm coming down with a cold. It's not COVID, but yeah, like around me right now, it's just dirty tissues. It's not a nice sight at all.
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm Charlie Touche. I got my esteemed colleague with me, Kadeem Simmons. Let's not forget how much of the man Kadeem is in London. Like, this man is well known. We couldn't walk around the stadium without people knowing who Kadeem was. I'm like, what's going on here? And I don't think I forgot. You know what I'm saying? Victory visor back on deck. We've been on a winning streak, but I haven't been healthy enough to put together some consecutive runs here on our own podcast. So the Victory visor is back on deck, man. And I know a lot of people want to talk playoffs. But if you came here to get like a playoff update and we were at the playoff run and playoff race, this is not that podcast. Like, not yet. And I feel like if you lose to Jacksonville and you lose in a game you're supposed to win against Atlanta, didn't even mention the Colts or the Bills game we should have won. If you lose against it, or the
Raiders,
all right, that's fair. But I think we're more in the Bills game and the Colts game than the Raider game. If you lose to Jacksonville and you lose to the Falcons, you don't need to worry about the playoffs. Don't worry about what the playoffs look like, because at the end of the day, all you need to do is win games. If you win every single game, which I thought was possible when you and Chris Adams was on the show, y'all counted us out like 5 weeks ago. Like, oh, well, I know we're out of the playoffs. And
we
I'm
were
over
1-7.
And I was coughing up a storm. Like, what are these boys talking about? There's like 12 games left in the season. They already said we out the playoffs. Like, nah, I never thought we was out the playoffs. But with that being said, all you got to do is win. Just win, baby. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Al Davis. All you got to do is win. You go 10-7. All is well in the locker room. It's funny how everyone on Twitter and social media said, oh, the Dolphins checked out. There's no energy. They're not playing like they want to play. Their mind's already set on vacation. A lot of stuff. Look, they seem dejected on the field. And I always said, like, what are y'all talking about? This team looks, it's weird how excited and how much fun it looks like they're having on the field with a record like 1-7. And to me, I felt good about that because I know that can translate. That can translate into wins. That could translate into wanting to play for your teammates. And I always felt like that's what we were. So when Mike Gesicki got on the podium when we're 1-7-ish, you know what I'm saying, and it says we're close. This team close. And everybody like, what in the world is Mike Gesicki talking about? This team is close. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was talking about. We're close. So as far as the playoff race goes, This is all you need to know. You don't need to, who do we need to lose? We need everybody to lose. More than once sometimes, in a lot of cases. All you need to know is we need to win out. If the Miami Dolphins do not win out, we're not going to the playoffs. That's all you need to know. So we need to win out. We should win out, in my opinion. And if I had to, if I don't want to say bet, because I wouldn't bet on it, but if I had this, if you said, do you think we'll win out? I'll say yes. I think we're going to win out. Do we get help along the way? If I had to say yes or no, feet to the fire right now, I'll say yes. So I don't want to say I think we're going to the playoffs, but it's not as bad as what people think. Had you beat Jacksonville or Atlanta or both, it's a different conversation, but we're not having that conversation here right now. How you feel about that, Kadeem? Not really having the playoff hope conversation.
I think everything you said made perfect sense. Like, I think when this run started, I'm pretty sure I came with a podcast and I was like, no, I was on the Dolphin UK podcast. Shout out to 5 Yard Lee, who was in the press box for this game. Looked amazing. And I was asked about, playoffs, and my answer was, I'm going to give them a Brian Flores answer. Take it one game at a time, 1 week at a time. You can only beat what's in front of you. Don't worry about, playing football in January where you need to basically win a bunch of games. So it's not an exciting answer, but no, I totally agree. This is a team this season which, lost to a team in the Jags who hadn't won in 20 games. We lost to the Buns Falcons. So even though we've got some easy games on the schedule, it's football. You never know. The Detroit Lions won today. The Lions hadn't beaten anyone all season, but they won. It's such a cliche, but any given Sunday. And this Dolphins team, we've seen enough. Shout out to, the Same Old Dolphins podcast. But those Same Old Dolphins, they'll find a way to mess up one annoying game down the stretch. So, yeah, I'm not thinking playoffs. I'm just thinking one game at a time. Let's see where we are next week and the week after and the week after.
Bro, Kadeem Simmons was so excited to have Atlanta on the schedule.
We all were.
Hey, Kadeem was so excited to have Atlanta on the schedule after the London game. Like, I'm not worried about that Falcons defense. The Falcons defense is buns. And lo and behold, this is where we are. But yeah, man, shout out to 5 Yard Lee, Dolphin UK podcast. This dude was here in Miami, flew across the pond to check out the game in Miami. We got to get Kadeem Simmons to a home game. Man, it's crazy. I think there's no I think about it. I'm 0-2 for London. Lost to the Saints, lost to the Jags. And I think Kadeem is 0-2 for Dolphin games. Bro,
yeah.
we got to switch this up.
So again, peek behind the curtain. When myself, yourself, and LB were walking to the game, this before the game, walking down Tottenham, and LB at the time was it 0-3 going to Dolphins games?
Yeah, LB doesn't have a win. He's like LB has gone to, I want to say 4 games. He's like 0-4.
And we joked, it was like, if the Dolphins lose today and the Dolphins ever reach the Super Bowl, LB is not going. Remember that? It was like, the Dolphins lost. LB is never going to a game again, ever. Not. I don't care if we're playing a team who haven't won in 2 years. 2 years, they've got me starting at quarterback. LB is not going to the game because I'll find a way to win. So. Yeah,
Kadeem, listen. I told LB this. When the Dolphins go to the Super Bowl and during Tua's rookie contract, because I said it's going to happen before 2024, we're going to go to the Super Bowl, and LB is going to call off work, and he's going to take like 5 days off of work, and I'm going to take like 5 days off of work. It depends on where I'm at in the world. I got to imagine I should have set it up right to where I'm off in February. You know what I'm saying? I don't celebrate my birthday really, but my birthday's in February. And it seems like I always get the first of the year off. It just seems that way. So I got to imagine I might be off already. And then Bert's going to fly in town from wherever he's at. And then we'll probably get Kadeem over here, hopefully. I'm gonna tell you like this: Dolphins are gonna go to the Super Bowl, and LB's gonna come with us. But what LB doesn't know is we're gonna stop somewhere, and we're gonna tie him up, and we're gonna set you up real nice, LB. I know you listening to the podcast. We're gonna set you up with some snacks and all the good stuff. We'll have it to where the TV's in front of you, and you can enjoy the Super Bowl. But you're not coming to the game with us, Holmes. Ain't no way.
Not
Bro,
at all.
we can't get a win with you at the games, bro. You not coming to the Super Bowl, LB. Ain't gonna happen.
Nah. I went back and listened to our first YouTube show, the Patriots preview, and right at the start, I said a quote by Matt Collins, and you turned around and said, "Oh, is Matt Collins your boy now? Are you defending Matt Collins?" That's what you said. That was before week 1. So when you turn around and go, "Oh, Matt Collins is my boy," and all that kind of stuff, just remember who was up in Matt Collins during the preseason. Just remember who sent you the Matt Collins touchdown dance. I'm just saying.
Are you done, Kadeem?
No, because I'm gonna say I'm not gonna get his jersey. I'm gonna rep him in my own way, and that is so same way when X gets an interception, I normally send you, the exhibit song. When Matt Collins gets a touchdown, I'm doing the Matt Collins dance. I'm sending you a video. End of.
I'm gonna tell you like this, Kadeem. Since you want me to remember the preseason, and you want me to remember you sending Kadeem Simmons sent me a video, like 30-second video of him doing the Mac Holland dance. Like, bro, if you want me to remember that, Kadeem, then I'm gonna remember when you sent me the picture of Mac Hollins with boxing gloves talking about, oh, this is why he can't catch the ball. And I'm gonna remember when you told me all the good stuff about Mac Hollins. I'm not gonna disclose our text messages, but you was on my dog, bro. You was not no Mac Hollins advocate, bro. I'm gonna just say that. So if you want me to remember everything you talk about now, I'll remember everything before that too, bro.
And that's fine. Because listen, everyone knows when the Dolphins got Jalen Waddle and Will Fuller, and we talk about Kirk Mervis and all that kind of stuff, Matt Collins was nowhere to be seen. We all know that. This isn't one of those things where you can turn around and say, I repped Matt Collins last season. No one repped Matt Collins last season.
That's fair. But bro, I turned the Matt Collins corner before you turned the Matt Collins corner.
Go back to the tape. The first episode on YouTube starts with me talking about Matt Collins, and you said, "Oh, so Matt Collins is your boy now." I'm just saying, the way you said it was like, "How dare you mention Matt Collins' name on the podcast?"
Yeah, how dare you? Because I am privy to our text messages, bro. I know when we have a text message. So for you to say Matt Collins is your boy now, I'm like, hold on, bro. I got the receipts. Matt Collins is not your boy.
You know what I like about this chair? It spins. The chair spins. You're doing a spin job right now.
Oh,
You're
my goodness.
Spinning. You are spinning. See this? Spinning. That's you right now.
I'm not doing this with you right now.
You're spinning. And as I'm spinning, I pulled my hamstring. I'm old. I played football on Saturday. I'm in pain right now. My body's shutting down, but it was worth it. You're spinning. Don't listen. You're right. We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
You pulled your hamstring spinning around in a desk chair. You think you could cover me, bro?
Dude, you can't breathe right now. Like,
you're right. I can't breathe right now.
Oh,
so I'm gonna make the routes real crisp and get up in and out the paint, bro. You right. You're right.
I'm good. Even with my 2 bad hamstrings, I'm good. It's all good. You know why? Because you can't breathe. You'll start running. You'll trip, hurt your finger. You're on IR. And you know what? So prior to the game, Devontae Parker's healthy. Everyone's going, "Oh, why does he even want Devontae Parker so good back?" And I was like, I'm not doing this because he's probably going to get hurt. Now, granted, he didn't get hurt. Made some really nice catches.
See, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. Bro, what's our record? 6-7?
Yeah.
We're 6-7. The games don't matter. This is when Devontae Parker do all the spectacular stuff. Or when we're down 20 and it's 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That's when Devontae Parker does the spectacular catches, bro. He don't ever do it when it's a close game, when we're up with our record is the right side up. He don't do it like that, bro. Devontae Parker is stealing points like D Wade used to. Shout out to the Heat. Like D Wade, he just put these garbage time points up on the board and come out with these patent stats. And that's what Devontae Parker does. He quit on his team earlier this year. I'm not going to forget you quit on us, Devontae. You know what I'm saying? And now we're here, and now you're pulling all kind of back shoulder catches out of your rear end.
Which Tua put in a really nice place, and people want to blame Tua for that. Like, listen.
Apparently, somebody on the defense throws those passes, though.
You know, listen. I think this week we've had is it Christoph Phil Sims turn around and say that Taysom Hill is as accurate as Tua?
It's probably Chris Sims. That's Chris Sims is the son of Phil Sims.
Okay, then
he's the one who had Tua like ranked 37th at quarterbacks.
Yeah. So before the Saints game, he was going, Taysom Hill is an NFL quarterback. He's as accurate as Tua, and then he goes and throws 4 interceptions. Like, and now you got Logan Ryan saying he can throw 2-yard passes. Listen, I shouldn't have been surprised by the Giants defense because they're actually a pretty decent unit. But at the same time, the game shouldn't have been close. If, you know, I don't know if you've seen the interviews after the game where Jalen Waddle talks about Tua being angry at him for the drop. And they asked Waddle, you know, like, what's Tua like when he's angry? And Waddle's response was, it's like someone who is angry but doesn't want you to know he's angry, but you can tell he's angry. And, you know, like you can see Tua jumping like, I'm angry, but you're my boy, so I can't get too angry with you right now. Yeah, it's definitely a good tip.
Hey, if Steve was here, he'll call him Woody.
Yeah, exactly.
That's Woody.
But no, I think also definitely shout out to so all the fire Chris Grier talk right now. We've got what in today's game, Jalen Phillips set the new Miami Dolphins rookie record for sacks with 8.5.
8.5.
Jalen Waddle broke Jarvis Landry's rookie receptions. He'll probably break the rookie reception. I think he's like 13 receptions away from it.
No. So the Miami Dolphins rookie record was held by Jarvis Landry. And
he beat that
at 85.
Yeah.
And Jalen Phillips broke the record at 8.5. He has 7 sacks in the past 5 games. So all that rapping Bert and LB was doing when we beat New England, and they was like, Jalen Phillips need to show up more. Bro, it was one game. It was the first game of his career. We need to see more of Jalen Phillips. Like, bro, relax. The man's like a 23-year-old playing against grown men. It was his first game. Vibe. We're gonna be straight. I told you, Jalen Phillips is almost like a Bosa brother. You know what I'm saying? Dude gonna be nice. And shout out to what we're saying about Chris Grier. Nah, not this year. He shouldn't get fired this year. Flores shouldn't get fired this year. The Chris Grier hot seat was warming up faster than the Brian Flores hot seat was warming up. Now I'm gonna tell you this.
Very, very, very quickly. So the point I was making.
My bad.
No, it's cool. So yeah, I know Waddle beat Landry's rookie reception record, but I think the NFL rookie reception record is currently held by, I think it's Anquan Boldin at 101, and that's what I'm saying. I think like Waddle was very, very close to beating that. So Waddle stays healthy over the next 2-3 games, he'll probably beat that record and beat it by quite a distance as well. So that's the point I was trying to make. Yeah.
So we got 4 games left. We have a bye this week coming up, which is right on time. And Jerome Baker already said he wished we didn't have a bye so we could just keep the momentum going. But we have 4 games left. Waddle has 85 receptions. He might have – I think he got hurt, so he didn't add that next one. So I think he has 85 receptions.
He came back, but he didn't make a catch yet.
Right, I don't think he added another reception. So you can't average 10 receptions a game. That's not realistic. So 101 is 16 receptions over the next 4 games. He's gonna get that. And I remember this on this podcast, I said multiple times, Jalen Waddle will have over 100 receptions in every season he plays for the Dolphins, except this year. And it took about 3 weeks into the season, and before I said, nah, he's gonna have 100 receptions this year. So I didn't know 101 was the rookie record, though. Had I known that, I would have been in line in Vegas betting that prop bet that Jalen Waddle breaks the rookie reception record. So yeah, man, we got some stud rookies. Might as well throw Javon Holland in there in that conversation. And this takes us to that Chris Grier conversation where everyone was calling for his job. And I remember saying, not this year. You're allowed to have a setback, all right? You're allowed to overperform. You know what I'm saying? And then 2 seasons in a row overperform, exceed expectations, go 10-6, end up 1 game out of the playoffs. And in the next season, if you have a down season, all right, that's football. Any given Sunday, the Lions just won today. You know what I'm saying? Any given Sunday, it's football. You're allowed to have a bad season without resetting the franchise. Oh, we had a bad season. We didn't meet expectations, although expectations were pretty high and they were set where they needed to be set. We're supposed to be going to the playoffs. So although we didn't get there, you don't call for people's job right now. Like, bro, let them fix it. Let's see if he can fix it. And here's my thing about Chris Grier. My thing is, he hits on picks. However, he whiffed at a time it was just the worst possible time to whiff on picks. For example, the O-line is not where it needs to be. And for a long time, we've been like, yo, just fix the O-line, fix the O-line, fix the O-line. Bro, the O-line has been the worst O-line in the league for the past 2 years. You know what I'm saying? The Dolphins had led the league in drops in the league for like the past 2 years. That's not where we need to be. All right. So I'm kind of going to transition from the Chris Grier conversation. Well, I'm going to throw it back to you and let you holler at Chris Grier if you got something to say. But my thing about Chris Grier is when you miss on them O-line picks, how about this? Shout out to my dog, friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson. Here's my thing about the Austin Jackson pick. I feel like Kadeem, either you said this or LB said this. You said every pick of that draft in the first 2 rounds, you felt like we could get 1 pick later. Like, you felt like we could have got Austin at 26. You know what I'm saying? We could have got Noah in the 2nd round. We could have got Hunt with the 2nd pick of the 2nd round. And I think you hit it head on. How about this, though? If you're the Dolphins and we know we need O-line, we drafted to a 5th overall. We have 3 first-round picks that year. You know you have to hit on these picks. That is not the season to go experimenting. That's not the season to say, hey, we need developmental talent because we're so good, we need to start developing players. Nah, bro, you need bullseyes. You need to be smacking these picks in the head like, got it, check them off, right? Here's my thing. You draft to a 5th. At 18, what did we do? Draft Austin Jackson, right?
Yeah.
I always wanted to move up, trade that 18 pick. Shout out my dog, Austin Jackson. You know you're my dog. Trade that 18 pick and the 26 pick and move up and get whatever tackle you can. Jedrick Wills was already gone. I wanted Wills first. Then I wanted Wirfs second. Look how good Wirfs turned out to be. You would have traded what turned out to be Noah Igbenogany, bro. So you would have traded Noah Igbenogany and Austin Jackson for the best tackle in the draft. That's all you had to do. Cool. Now, how about this? Even if you didn't do that, which we didn't, At 18, how about you take Cesar Ruiz? We wanted Cesar Ruiz. Word on the street is we traded back to 28 because Cesar Ruiz got taken in front of us at 26. Okay, well, make another hove. My thing is, if you take Cesar Ruiz at 18, you check the box at center. You fix the center position for the next 10 years. Cesar Ruiz is going to the Hall of Fame. You check the center position with Cesar Ruiz. Now you pick at 26. What running back did I want at 26? You could take JT at 26 if you wanted to. You feel me? Trade it back. Oh, we traded back. What's going on here? We traded back. Jonathan Taylor was still there at 28. You see what I'm saying? So you could have still took Cesar Ruiz, helped out the line because you still need a center now, and then take Jonathan Taylor at 28 because you still want running back help now. That scenario, to have Noah drafted in the rebuild of our franchise, the most important draft of our franchise, to take Noah in the first round and not hit on your O-line is why Chris Grier is under fire. And I understand it. I feel it. But if you're going to hit with Jalen Waddle, Jalen Phillips, Javon Holland, you got to give the man credit for Solomon Kinley. You got to give the man credit for a lot of other picks too. Brandon Jones. You know what I'm saying? You got to bro, if you're going to give this, like the tool conversation, you know what I'm saying? So you can't kill him for missing with Noah and not getting the line right. Although, bro, you get reprimanded for that. But at the same time, he's hitting on other things.
Yeah, I think I made this point weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure you was on the podcast when I made it. For whatever reason, outside of, I guess, Laramie Tunsil, because he was just, I guess, deemed a can't miss pick, the Dolphins have done a really, 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 really bad job on this offensive line going back years. Like, I'm pretty sure we said the last time the Dolphins had a semi-decent offensive line was the year Ryan Tannehill got killed behind up, and we made the playoffs. And even then, the guys on that offensive line was left tackle Laramie Tunsil, who's playing left guard, Pouncey, Juwan James. James can't stay fit in Denver. So, listen, if you take Wirfs,
before you go too far, and we had to help out James every game on that side.
Yeah.
So that's why we didn't mind letting him go. And he ended up being a bust in Denver because we had to keep helping him out on that side of Miami. But go ahead.
Yeah. So, again, Chris Grier hasn't fixed the offensive line, but it's one of the things where it was broken when he got it, and it's still broken. It's like going to a second-hand car shop and them saying, by the way, this car's beat up. Like, you'll do really well to get off the lot. And then you get 5 minutes down the road and go, yeah, it's still broken. It's like, dude, I told you. Like, I'm not defending Chris Grier from that, but this isn't a situation where he came into the building and the Dolphins had the best offensive line and it got worse. And I also think that people will attack him rightfully or wrongly. At this point, we still don't know on the Austin Jackson pick at 18. But like you said, give him credit for the Robert Hunt pick and the Solomon Kinley pick. And we all know Kinley was not the issue on the offensive line. Not at all. The kid can't get a look in ever since, but there was talk in the offseason about him kind of coming back to camp, basically not at the required weight. And I think, to give him credit, I guess over the last 2 weeks, Eichenberg and Jackson have done pretty well. I think the offensive line, for the most part, has done okay over the past 2 weeks. I think it helps when you've got two behind them and he's throwing the ball in like 2 seconds because he has no choice. Mm-hmm. I know one of the sacks on him today, I don't know. I think PFF and others will say it's Austin Jackson's fault. It's like a looping sack. And, Michael Dieter at center he's engaged in a block or, in pass protection anyway. Jackson sliced to the left to help out Eichenberg, but the guy comes straight clean through the middle. It's one of the things where it's like, if Jackson waits a split second, he will see the oncoming rusher. But again, maybe it was a case of they meant to double team the guy on the right. So Jackson was always doing his job. It's just that, maybe Tua didn't pick up the blitz or it was a delayed blitz, all these kind of things. I don't know whether he's going to get given a sack on that, but I think it's fair to say over the past 2 weeks, the offensive line hasn't looked as trash and booty as it has the last 2 weeks. And hopefully, again, it's a matter of like the team in general, as the season goes on, as the weeks go by, as guys get more used to playing with each other, the line is no longer a glaring massive issue. Now, that doesn't mean in the offseason you don't address it, because listen, I'm not here for people saying to be fired, because the last thing I would want is people to be sat at home going, that Kadeem Simmons White is really, really bad, fire him, lose his job. I'm honestly not about that life. It's easy as a fan to sit here and say the Dolphins should cut this person, all that kind of stuff. Dude, that's someone's job. Let's have a bit of decency in our life. The flip side to that is the Dolphins need to address the right tackle at the bare minimum. I know people say that they should pick up a center as well. I thought Michael Deeds had done okay today when he came back in. I think the team might be okay with him at center. We'll do draft talk in the off season, but I think they might keep him at center. My main worry, and we'll get back to the Giants game in a sec, but my main worry is that they'll look at this line basically and go, yeah, it's okay, and not address in the off season.
So I kind of disagree with you, Kadeem, when it comes to people, jobs, and calling for jobs. I'm gonna tell you why. You have ever had something go wrong and you had to call a company and you knew you were in for a 30-minute hour conversation with someone you didn't want to talk to? Like, hey, I have this issue with, let's just say, my cable, right? How about this? When I call a cable company and they pick up and they say, hey, Mr. Charles, Mr. Touche, what's going on? I tell you what's going on. But I know that who I got on the phone, they don't get paid for what I'm about to give them, right? Yeah, you just a regular worker. You know what I'm saying? Those are the people I'm not calling for their job. Like you said, you a writer, Kadeem. Nah, you just a writer. My bad. You're not just a writer. You my dog. You the Go Time Dolphins co-host. But I'm saying you're not in the entertainment field, meaning you're not an actor, you're not a songwriter, you're not a singer, you're not an athlete, you're not a part of. I guess you are. You could be considered entertainment. You consider yourself entertainment in the entertainment field, Kadeem? Or are journalists entertainers? No, they're journalists. That's a different genre. That's a different field, right?
More like news, I guess. Like,
all right, news.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think that's entertainment though. No. But I do feel like in the entertainment field, Kadeem, I think you're able to call for people jobs. I think you're able to say, what's going on here? The money that is paid to these people, Kadeem, is far, far, far beyond that of what me and you make. Maybe I threw an extra far in there, right? But it's far beyond.
Okay, Mr. Moneymaker, I see you. I saw you did there. Oh, okay, guys, Go Time Dolphin listeners, listen. Charlie balling. Charlie's got that. I can take 6 months off work and live in England kind of money. Wow.
No. I ain't got it like that. But I did throw too many fars in there.
Yeah, you know
what I'm saying? They make far beyond what we make. All right. I will say this though.
No, what you make, they make far, far, far beyond what I make. Let's get that straight right now. Yeah.
Oh, this guy, you gonna get me hit up at the ATM, man. Yeah. Relax. So that being said, Chris Grier makes enough money to handle criticism and to know when his job is not going the way it needs to go. Saying all of that, I need to remind people, we were 5-11. 5-11 when we drafted Tua, right, Kadeem?
Yep.
We picked 5th overall in the draft. And not only that, that season we exceeded expectations. We were supposed to be historically the worst team in the history of the NFL. And in ways, our statistics still showed that we were one of the worst teams in the history of the NFL. However, our record didn't. So the reason I say that is because I want to say this. If you have the historically worst team in the history of the NFL on paper, that's what the stats say. But the record didn't reflect that because we outperformed and we won 5 games. If you have the worst team in the history of the NFL, you're supposed to pick first in the draft. You see what I'm saying, Kadeem?
Yep.
Who picked first in the draft? The Bengals did. Who picked after us in the draft? The Chargers did. So automatically, Herbert goes into a better situation than what Tua was entering. Off the bat, that's factual. Now, Joe Burrow,
unless you're Omar Kelly and you think that Devontae Parker's up there with Keenan Allen, in which case you might say that Tua has a better situation than Justin Herbert. But that's only if you're Omar Kelly, by the way. Like,
I'm not even going to entertain.
No, sorry. No, what? That's on me. It wasn't Omar. That was Joe Shad. Omar, I apologize. I'm putting dirt on your name. There's nothing as it is.
It's not really dirt because when you make clown takes, when you hear a clown take, you relate it back to the circus. So I get it. So I get it. Yeah, but you gotta give the right person his what do you give somebody if it's not roses? What's the opposite of roses?
So I'll be like, or as people say today, give them their flowers.
Yeah, you give them their flowers. So if you don't give when you give somebody their flowers, it's because they did a good thing. What do you do? What do you give them when they're just clowns?
Weeds, thorns. Like, take these weeds and hold them. Like,
all right, man. But look, listen. That being said, you got quarterbacks that were drafted in a better situation than Tua was drafted to. All right, that's all I'm saying. So now you have a situation where you outperform and your fans are like, yo, we outperformed twice. We were 10-6 last year too. We're supposed to go to the playoffs. So we have expectations. What do you think is going to happen when now we done compared to Kyler Murray and Tua stats on paper? We didn't even add in the fact that Tua had broken ribs within those 16 games. Right, we added the hip injury though. What do you think happens when you come out of this season balling on a winning streak? Everybody is excited again. You know what I'm saying? Especially the team, bro. I don't know if you got to see that story. Did you get to see Tua Tagovailoa's story on IG when I sent it to you? When I said, "Hey, check out Tua's story."
No, my son was coughing. I had to be a dad. You know, just life.
Daddy duties. I feel you. So what it was Mike Gesicki was wearing a Alabama sweater saying "Roll Tide."
I've seen that video. He's like pumping his chest.
Right. Yeah. And he was saying "Roll Tide." For those who know, Mike Gesicki did not go to Alabama. Mike Gesicki went to Penn State. So, and in the background, Christian Wilkins is like kind of look like he's kind of walking to the showers or something. And it's a vibe. Everyone is vibing. Mike Gesicki talking about "Roll Tide." I'm going to assume Tua is the one behind the camera. It's his video, right? Like, yo, there's a vibe on this team. Everybody's playing for each other. Yeah, we took some L's we were not supposed to take, but it's not the end of the world. So what happens at the end of this season when we come one game short of the playoffs again? What happens when we're balling again and we're one game short and it's like, Tua's balling. Tua looks good. Defense looks good again. What happens? You don't blow it up. You don't fire the GM. You don't fire the coach when you're this close. You see what I'm saying? You had to overcome adversity more than once, and you did it. That's not the time to blow it up. Because once you blow it up, it's a 2-year project minimum.
What they probably do is give Jesse Davis a new contract extension. Listen, I joke, I kid, I shouldn't do that. No. And listen, like I said, the plan in the off season to me had to start in the trenches, had to start on the offensive line. That's the first. No, that's a lie. That's the second thing. The first thing I do is give Mike Gesicki and Emmanuel Ogbah their contract extensions. That's the first thing I do. Then when free agency opens, because I've tied those two down, I then go get offensive line help. And then first round of the draft, I go back and look at offensive line and make sure that's sorted. But listen, the Giants game, we was in control for the entirety of the game. Jason Sanders missed another field goal, but then scored one at the end after missing before the whistle blew. I saw LB tweet say that he done with Jason Sanders. I don't know. I didn't see him tweet after he made that field goal at the end. But I'm hoping it's more just a blip with Jason as opposed to, him being completely finished.
I don't know, Kadeem. Like, let's think about this. Jason Sanders had a bad year before last year. And then he had a Pro Bowl season last year. And now he's having this type of season this year. And last year, Flo had him in the locker room after one of the games and had him in the middle of the circle talking about, this is why you stick with your guys. This is why you rally behind your players. And he had a Pro Bowl season. The man don't even look like he has confidence no more. Like, his confidence is shot when he runs onto the field. Like, his shoulders, his body language. We don't know what we're going to get with Jason Sanders on the field no more.
It's weird, though, because I feel like if it's around the 40, between that 45 and 49, I'm quietly confident. If it's like anything below above that, I'm like, oh, is he going to make this? But again, listen, we know with Brian Flores that if there's an upgrade to be made at that position, he'll make it. So I know he would have no qualms in, getting rid of Jason Sanders if he believes there's a better person on the streets. And maybe we see them, they bring someone in during camp next season, in the off season, and have a kicking battle, and best guy wins. Maybe we see that. Who knows?
So the Miami Dolphins defeat the New York Giants 20-9. Shout out to 5 Yard Lee, friend of the podcast, Dolphin UK. He was at the game. I did not want to be around people not knowing my status, and I know I may not be infectious anymore after surviving COVID, but I just don't feel comfortable being around people. Like, I feel terrible if someone was to catch something because of me. I wouldn't wish that on nobody. But before we go into bonus time, Kadeem, because I know it's getting late over there, I disagree with going into the draft trying to get O-line.
No.
Like,
hold on. I said I address it in free agency and then again in the draft. There's no way I leave free agency without.
Yeah, you can't. We can't.
And very quickly, I'm not talking one of them like Matt Skura, last day. I'm talking
a piece.
Yeah, you pay the money. If all the top guys, get tagged or they stay in their teams, the best offensive line, put it this way, even though Kenny Golladay hasn't worked out in New York at the moment, don't do what they've done at wide receiver. Don't wait until the last day and go, okay, we'll sign Will Fuller for $10 million 1-year deal. No, you make sure you sign the guy that you can get, and then once you have that, it means you can go into the draft and not have to worry too much about signing someone in the draft, but you get someone else as well. So yeah, definitely address it in free agency.
Even if you can't get it in free agency, you need to trade Xavier Howard before the draft to get an O-lineman. Like, bro, this needs to happen. We need O-line, and we need to trade X while we can. That's all I'm saying.
We need to get Sherrod Steve, because I know he's going to be like, X got another interception today. You best not try and trade him. So,
hey, the Victory Visor is back. Charlie Touche is back. And Kadeem Simmons trying to get away from us, but you can't get away from us, bro, because the duo is together. It's like Andre 3 Stacks and Big Boy, man. We outcast, bro. It's not the same when we not together, bro. Look, listen, we about to get into bonus time. Victory Visor. Y'all stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's showtime. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
So last episode, I asked you, would you hire Jason Garrett, Mr. Clapperlot, as the offensive coordinator in the offseason? I feel like I have to go back to that question, but slightly alter it. Would you hire Joe Brady as an offensive coordinator in the offseason? Bearing in mind, he literally, Sunday before the Dolphins played, he was fired as the Carolina Panthers offensive coordinator. Would you hire Joe Brady next offseason?
So Joe Brady got fired today. Offensive coordinator Joe Brady got fired today. How you get fired on your day off?
I need to throw something. See this? It's gone.
How you get fired?
I don't think of that.
Oh, your day off, bro. What you was doing, bro?
We have to tweet that out. Oh, we have
How
to
you
do
get
that
fired
out.
on your day off, bro? Listen. So the same Joe Brady that ripped it up, the newest, hottest thing since Sean McVay, the newest, hottest young thing since Kyle Shanahan, the newest, hottest young thing was talking about getting a head coaching job this year in the offseason. Joe Brady, the new next head coach, is terminated. For those who don't know who Joe Brady is, he was the OC for LSU. And that won the national championship with Joey Bullets. I coined the nickname Joey Bullets for Joe Burrow. Joe Brady also spent time in New Orleans with Teddy Two Gloves, touchdown Teddy. So the question about bringing Joe Brady to the Miami Dolphins, it's funny because Joe Brady is actually from Pembroke Pines, Florida. Kadeem, for you, I know you don't know where Pembroke Pines is, but it is literally certain parts of, they ain't even certain parts. Pembroke Pines is 8 minutes away from Miami-Dade County. He's from here. Joe Brady is from here, right? And I kind of feel some type of way a little bit, Kadeem, because he's only like 35 years old. And I'm from a place called Miramar, right? I grew up, say what? 32?
He's my
that's even worse. I feel
32.
Worse now. Listen, I'm from Miramar.
So he's literally born a month before me. September 23rd, I'm October 23rd. Yeah.
Listen, I was born in Carroll City, Florida, across the street from the stadium. I said that story. I grew up in Miramar, Florida. Miramar, Florida is the neighbor to Pembroke Pines. Joe Brady went to Everglades High School. For those who know what Everglades High School is, y'all also know Everglades High School wasn't even a thing until like 2004. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no Everglades High School pre 2004-ish, 5, 6, something like that. I don't know. It came later. So for this young dude to be in his early 30s and to go to Everglades High School when I was like a whole adult out here and Everglades wasn't even a school yet, and he went there, and now he will be a head coach of some team like they was talking about, and now he's going to be the OC of my team. I ain't gonna lie, I feel some type of way about that. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I feel like he's underqualified. I'm not gonna lie to you. But this is football Charlie now. You do it. You gotta holler at him. You get him on the phone, and I haven't seen what the discrepancy is or was in Carolina. I don't know why they got rid of him, but I do know they had PJ Walker, Cam Newton, and Sam Darnold, who is a shell of himself. That being said, I can't, I'm not to put it on the OC person like you are, Kadeem. You that's your go-to. Put it on the OC. Put it on the OC. I don't put it on the OC. So for this is almost like, it's not to the same extreme. Chris Rock got a joke here, like, man, when JD got Jermaine Dupri got Janet Jackson, it was like Bentleys went on sale for a week. And it's like, yo, Joe Brady's available. So I guess you see how that season ends with the Dolphins, because you don't want that turnover again. You don't want that turnover again in your locker room with your OCs. You let Chan Gailey go, but you kept some of his system with your coordinators for a reason, on purpose. So your quarterback doesn't have to keep going through OC after OC after OC. What, this would be his 6th OC in 3 years. So you had one in college. You had, well, I go holler at Steve Sarkisian before I holler at Joe Brady. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I don't know how I feel about Joe Brady. And I don't know how I feel about switching OCs. You have to have that continuity. You have to have that chemistry. You have to have consistency, bro. I don't care who you go get, but it has to be right. And I don't know if this is, I will tell you this is the closest thing to you making a switch. Who else? Like, yeah, Joe Brady. It's Joe Brady. He didn't lose it. He still got the sauce. You didn't forget how to call plays.
Yeah, it's a really weird one because, you know, worked under Sean Payton, being around Drew Brees, was Tua. He's apparently the left-handed Drew Brees. You would assume that he picked up something from Sean Payton. It's basically like getting, you know, that Sean Payton tree into Miami. But I totally get the point in terms of the way the offense is playing at the moment, especially over the past few weeks. If Godsey and Studesville have kind of sort of worked it out, why make a change for change's sake? And especially if, you know, if Joe Brady comes in and him and Tula ball next year and reach the Super Bowl, we all know Brady's going to be gone because someone's going to be calling him for a head job thing, for a head job role. Again, I know we'll have the conversation in the offseason, regardless of whether Brady comes in or not. But for me, it's a matter of Brian Flores hat on, you know, headset on, all that kind of stuff. Evaluate it in the offseason. See what the next 4 games are like for Miami. And same way the rumors came out that the Dolphins done their due diligence on chatting to, you know, Deshaun Watson. Speak to Brady. See what he says. Like it's one of them things where the Dolphins wouldn't be doing the job correctly if they don't at least talk to the guy. Because, you know, it's Joe Brady. He's 2 years off that amazing season at LSU with Joe Burrow. Even last year in Carolina, they look good. And it's a matter of people might turn around and say, well, look at the Carolina offense this season. Again, like you said, Sam Darnold's start off really, really was the point that people said, wow, Brady can fix anything. He's fixed Sam Darnold. Then Darnold kind of went off the rails. Christian McCaffrey's been injured.
I was going to say that. I was hoping you cover that.
Yeah. You know, see, this one, your co-host, dude, I've got you.
But hey, give and go, pick and roll. You already know.
100%. But yeah, Cam Newton is Cam Newton. PJ Walker was playing, you know, XFL football 2 years ago.
I ain't gonna lie. I think I could play quarterback for the Panthers. I think I could do it, bro. I think I could do it.
Someone will touch you and you'll get injured. You'll be on IR. Like, we're not doing
bro,
this.
I'm not injury prone, bro.
Well, I don't know, you know.
Bro, you pulled a hamstring spinning around in the office chair.
But I'm still going. I'm still here. How many episodes have you missed this season because you've been on IR?
Hey, you remember when Sam Darnold got mono? Like, yeah, he got mono. He didn't get hurt in practice. He got mono. It's an illness.
Your best ability is availability. That's what I'm saying. I've missed one episode, and that wasn't even my fault. It's because someone was sleeping. You weren't available, and I'm the one. He missed the episode. You were sleeping and your eye missed the episode. Make it make sense. Help me. So, listen. Again, I'm here with my busted hand. I was just going to say that I'm Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett that his hamstring still played. That's me at the moment, but I'm here. I'm ready to go.
I like it. Let us know what y'all think, man. Hit us up, share, like, subscribe, comment. You know what I'm saying? Should the Dolphins go after Joe Brady? Should the Dolphins even change OCs? We're going to see what happens in the offseason. We got to see what happens in the next 4 games. Mess around and the Dolphins make the playoffs. You just got to make it to the dance sometimes, bro.